I think it goes back to what John said, right? We had a plan. We felt confident in our read, and we felt like we could exploit it. And goes back to an answer I gave earlier. Was it overconfident to lean so hard into trying to exploit? Like, there's always a balance, right? How do you want to ante and exploit another team and have a plan around them, and how much do you want to play your own game, and how comfortable and confident is your own game on a map? And it's a hard balance to strike. It's hard to do it perfectly. Obviously, I wish we did it perfectly and we're winning and weren't sitting here in a loser's press conference. But in this case, we didn't strike that balance right, and we lost in part because of that. Again, I'm taking full responsibility for that. At the end of the day, if I'm the one that goes up there and does the veto, it's my mistake. And
so that was Kaplan there, the head coach of Sentinels, talking about Sentinels playing against Gen.G here on Breeze. And some people have asked the question, you got absolutely stomped on this map. Historically, Sentinels haven't been that good on Breeze, why kind of pick it, all of that. And Kaplan was, kind of explaining there that, they had this plan in mind that they wanted to use against Gen.G, but it just didn't work. So the first question here is, what was the plan? Well, essentially, it seems like the plan was just to go A pretty fast, because that's what Sentinels did a lot. In fact, for the first 6 rounds, they barely touched this half of the map. And from the very first round right here, you'll see that we do straight away just come towards this A site and try and go for an A exec.
Last, with big plays coming out of players like Zekin on the side of Sentinels. Let's see what the Sentinel side has up their sleeve on Breeze, because it's not like the other 2 maps we expected a lot from both teams. Here, it's hard to really gauge expectations.
Yeah, and a lot of what we've seen already, the victory that came out of this composition for Gen.G was an 11-1 attack side. So we don't know what they've got on the defense. We'll have to wait and see. Second, though, already looking to take that initial space. Again, the utility from the initiators is sublime. Sets him up wonderfully. That shock dart has done so much damage. Zekin's almost dead as well. I don't think he's got anything else to throw at them, but they are slowly making their move forward.
Here comes a recon, just came back online from Lackey. It was used at the start of the round, now buys a little bit of space. Zekin down, and Texture emerging from the smoke gets caught. They know there's a player in the corner, and they'll look to isolate that fight up close. Munchkin does well to find another. The advantage stacked against Celsius, but the spike is down, and he knows it's not being diffused. Sometime bought, but 15 HP. 1 more bullet's all that's needed, and it should be only seconds away. With Lackey as third, Gen.G find a first.
We are going to see a lot more of those rounds where Sentinels are just going to group up and come towards the A site here, right? And Kaplan and both John, 2 people who I think are very, very smart people when it comes to this game, and come up with some really, really good plans for the majority of their maps, it feels like. They talked about how, they made small mistakes and stuff like this, and that's why it didn't work out for them. But I don't agree with that, because I think that their plan on this map makes absolutely no sense, and let me explain why. So, Gen.G, their comp is quite an extreme comp, right? They are playing with no Sentinel here on Breeze, which is pretty tough on the defense side, and their only information agent they have whatsoever is Lakia on Sova, right? Some of you may know that Breeze is a very, very big map, and so to only have one agent who provides you with any information whatsoever is quite tough on this Breeze defense side, but it also means that the way that Sentinels played just makes no sense to me. And to try and highlight this to you, I'm going to contrast the Sentinels game with this game that Gen.G played versus Loud earlier on in the tournament, where Gen.G got destroyed on their defensive side by Loud. And the way these 2 teams played between Loud and Sentinels could not have been more different. The first major difference we saw between the 2 teams was the pace that they played at. Sentinels played a pretty fast half on the attack side, whereas Loud played a very, very slow half. And you can see that just here from Loud's bonus round. Just look at how the map is, right? The spike is down here, right? We've got people over towards B, we've got people over towards A. It's very clearly not going to be a fast exec from this point for Loud. But the thing is, in 10 of 12 rounds for Sentinels, they either had done an exec or were gearing up to do an exec within the first 40 seconds. 10 out of 12 times. For Loud, it was only 2 out of 12 times that they did that in the first 40 seconds of the round. And you can see Loud, it's pretty quiet, it's pretty spread, and we'll get into some of these other points as well. And they do end up losing this round, but you see how we're able to sneak up into areas like this and turn this into a very different game for Gen.G.
Will this make it a problem? Texture's going to have to bail him out big here, which maybe he does. It is Texture, unless has his eyes away from the prize, and Texture with the punish. Oh, not quite there, but the headshot was. QCK living through that. And pressure elsewhere again.
Now, Loud actually will end up losing this round just here, but you can tell what their kind of overall game plan is right from the start. And this was only a bonus round, right? But you can tell it's slow, it's, we're not rushing into anything, we're not trying to, give away what's going on, and you see that for the most part, it did find success for them. The other big contrast in the way that they played, ironically enough, is that Loud were very quiet, but Sentinels were very loud.
So much value. The whole map is just long-range angles. You can do so much damage. As we see, Sentinels have got shields on everybody, the full 150. Those pistols, weaker weapon spams, could be able to take him down already. Texture's able to pick up John QT, Lackey on another Karen, Munchkin. Everyone's got their bite of the pie.
So, straight away, Sentinels grouping up again towards A and are making a lot of noise, of course, here as well, right? They're going to send out the Viper Wall. They're going to go for this Sova Dart early on. They're going to pick up an ult orb here, right? They're going to jet dash in. They're going to Sova drone in. They're going to obviously make a lot of noise, and the thing that creates for Gen.G, right, again, they lack information, they don't really know what's going on, but they've already got 3 players here, and the 4th is very quickly on their way, right? And so it means that by the time that Sentinels, because of this smoke on the site that kind of delays Sentinels a bit here, by the time that they're actually kind of, coming in onto the site, we essentially have 4 people here for Gen.G, right? And they've just bought into, hey, you're making a ton of noise, so we're just going to go where the noise is, because again, we don't have that much information for Gen.G. And now let's contrast this to a Loud round, right? And again, I'm not necessarily saying you need to make no noise like Loud do here, right? For instance, they're going to come in towards mid. You can see the Sova Dart is going to ping up towards mid just here. They're going to send this orb into mid. They've sent a KO knife here into mid as well, right? So I'm not saying you need to make no noise, because the thing is, again, Gen.G are going to go for a lot of like kind of solo peeks and solo swings here to look for some information, right? So if you are Loud in this instance, you want to make sure that wherever you're going might be pretty clear. But now take a look at what they do, right? So they've made some noise initially, but now they're going to walk into their own Viper Orb, and take a look at this. They're not going to, Sadic's right here. He could flash out of this if he wants to, but they're not going to flash out of it. They're going to silently walk up, and meanwhile, whilst we're doing on the rest of the map, we got people kind of, again, in different positions. We got to lurk up holes already. We, taking some mid control. We're taking a look at A main. These guys are all being silent, and they're not going to flash through this. They're just going to drop the orb. Right, again, silent, QCK gets the first kill. But another baffling part to Sentinel's game plan is that they didn't even lurk that much, right? They really did group up 5-stack here and come towards A. And if we take a look at this one, you're going to see that we've got this camera looking down holes just here, but actually the smoke is going to come up from Karen, which blocks off the camera. So John sees this and instantly perhaps thinks, oh, there might be some pressure coming down holes or whatever. So, okay, he doesn't want to come up here and, kind of explore that on his own. So now he just runs back with the team. And again, now we have no lurk. And again, this is perfect for Gen.G, who, are always wary about different lurks and what's going on, because it just means that, okay, they can rotate and they never get punished for that lack of info on the other side of the map that they're missing.
Probably as solid as it gets. Again, they're just going straight back in for this play in towards the A site. And again, no fear out from Texture. This time he will catch it, but it's a player that can be brought back. It's going very differently this time around, though. They're being destroyed.
And again, let's contrast that round that you just saw with this round from Loud, where actually this is one of the rare times that Loud did group up and wanted to go for a fast exec. Now, Loud generally only did this when Gen.G were on an eco, right? But this time they actually don't like it. They see one too many players, they don't like what they see, and they take a bit of a risk and a bit of a gamble here by just running back, because the thing is, Gen.G might have pushed all these angles, but now take a look at what they do, because we're going to just leave Les here, okay? So Les now becomes a lurk on the other side of the map whilst they're going and rotating. Gen.G actually see the cross here across towards A, so they come towards A main. But now what do Loud do? They don't come in towards A main because they know that they've been seen, and actually they go into halls. And here's the thing, right? If we've been pressuring over towards B and we know that they've probably come this way, and now they've seen us come the other way, so we know they're probably coming this way. If no one has pushed all the way up halls, if at this point, we haven't seen any more halls is probably pretty free, right? So this is a really good call by Loud. And now look, everything is quiet. No one's making any noise anywhere on the map, and it creates some confusion for Gen.G now, right? We see the orb go into mid there, denying information again. QCK, all this meanwhile, is just walking up, and then eventually Les manages to find this free kill on Meteor when this orb actually goes up, right? So instantly we found that, and then again, Gen.G are good players, so they are going to hit some shots and they are going to get some kills, as you will see just here. But again, we've seen one lurk get them a kill on one side of the map, And now, even though, you know, they start to kind of kill these Loud players in main, what's going to win them the round now? Oh yeah, we've got a lurk coming all the way up through halls. We got one person just silently walking in through mid doors as well, right? So we're just walking through all these different angles, and even though Texture is able to get a couple kills, QCK is able to get some free ones, as he was consistently able to do, and then they're going to pinch on Texture here pretty nicely as well, allowed to win this round. So you just see an absolute wave of difference in the way that these teams approach it. Even when in this instance, Loud kind of did group up at the start of the round, they were still able to turn this into a very, very different round that very much favored them and did not favor Gen.G for what Gen.G's comp is. And this to me was crazy that Sentinels didn't go for more lurks, because even in this kind of round where they do go for a lurk, right? This is round 4, they're again going for another A hit, but this time John is going to lurk into mid. And okay, they're on an eco this round and the exec doesn't go that well, but John again is going to find a free kill, and yet they still didn't do this that often.
Just works together. Nice start though from Zekken. That's going to be an instant kill. Looking to try and break back with what is some weaker weaponry here. They may even look to try and go through the smoke. This is awkward now for Texture. No dash, no escape. They're not going to expect it to be here though. Not expecting him to stick around, because now he has delivered them a rifle.
It's being guarded though. Lackia's not giving it up. And they've lined up for the double, the triple for Lackia. John QT, well, he'll find one unaware. That's a rifle to be retrieved, but in comes Munchkin to close that one out.
This one was a very weird one for me, because I know that Kaplan and John QT know a lot more about this game than I do, but I don't understand how they came to this conclusion, especially when Loud had shown you such a different way of playing that had found success against Gen.G. It really did baffle my mind, but I guess we'll see what they do today against Paper Rex.